What's up, everyone? Welcome to Artists and the City, where you can discover the newest and hottest artists around the city. And today we have Zoe Levy. How are you?
Hello, Mindy. Good to see you.
Good to see
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Finally, I've been meaning to hang out with you, and
Yeah.
podcast is the first. It's the best excuse.
Yes, I love it. Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hot. I walked over here.
Yeah, we were neighbors.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's so cool that we're neighbors.
Were you raised here?
No. Westchester.
And then
Suburbs.
do you live with your family in Upper?
Yes.
Okay. Pretty Jewish of you.
Yes, very Jewish.
Yeah. I mean, I feel safe.
Hey, I mean, yeah.
I feel very safe to be around here because
100%.
yeah, for sure.
All the old Jewish women.
But for
the doorman to protect them.
But for our listeners, could you introduce yourself?
I am Zoe. I am a stand-up comedian based in New York City. I perform regularly in New York Comedy Club. I've played a lot of rooms. I'm only 2 years into comedy, but I am really trying to make my living off it.
She's crushing it. That's why she's on
Thank you,
this
thank you.
podcast.
Thank you.
I legitimately admire comedy a lot.
Yeah, you saw a set, a 20-minute set. That was crazy.
With Evan?
That made me so, yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was getting 20 until I got there. And then I was like,
I'm
oh,
like,
shit.
yeah, let me
I was
just talk to you.
I was like, I'm not on the road and I'm getting 20 minutes in New York City? Are you kidding me? Like, that is
Yeah.
so valuable.
Was that-
Like, I don't have to go to bumfuck Pennsylvania?
Was that your first time doing 20 minutes in the city?
No, I got to do 22 minutes in Long Island City like a month ago. But that was so exciting. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And right as of now, that is my longest set, 22 minutes.
That is very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like, I one time did like 20 minutes at like, this was back in Korea, in front of all these like non-Koreans in English at a random bar in a random city. I didn't think that I'll be able to do it, but I didn't. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah, it's challenging. Like 10 minutes is one thing, 15's another, 20 is like, okay. Like you've reached a new level.
Yeah.
If you can do 20.
Do you feel like...
But then you will see how some of your jokes are A and some are B. You know, like you're forced to recognize that.
Oh,
like,
and you do a longer set?
Yeah, you're like, that was so strong, and now this is like a pretty mid joke. You know, like you just see that.
But like you don't see that through 5-minute sets though?
Not really. Because you just sandwich the strong with the... You know, like you have to do so much material. Because I'm not a crowd work comic. Like I can do it a tiny bit. Yeah. I wish I did more crowd work, but that's something I'm sort of working up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how would you describe your comedy to the audience, to the listeners?
Ooh. It is a little bit female empowerment.
Oh, hell yeah!
yeah. It's not that much sex stuff, but the sex stuff pops online, which bothers me.
That's what works on the internet.
Yeah, but that's a very small portion of my jokes are dirty, very small. A lot of it's like class politics that fascinates me. Mm-hmm. I like sexual politics between men and women. You know.
What do you mean by sexual politics?
Like, not like the inequities between men and women, but just like the way certain things are, you know, like the way men expect this and women are expected to do this, but then we want this, and like just the tension there.
I think that's definitely, I feel like that's something that could work on the internet though, because it sparks discussion.
Yes, definitely sparks discussion.
Which we should not be afraid of.
I know, I need to get comfortable with the idea of many eyes on me. You know, because I grew up never wanting like fame, but now I'm like, if I want to be successful,
yeah, you should.
I need to get that.
But do you
like fuck?
Do you want to be famous now?
Yeah, to have a platform, to have influence. Yeah, but I did not growing up. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. I mean, how...
Like, I know a lot of people grow up being like, I want to be famous. I want to be a star. I was like, I want to be a lawyer. For the animals. like, that's my... I want to be an academic.
That speaks to me so much. You graduated Columbia, right?
Thank you. Yes, I did.
Yeah. But you did masters as well?
Yes, I did masters.
Same.
Yeah. GSAS.
Fuck yeah. SIPA. What is
philosophy.
You studied philosophy. Hey, I feel like comedians are philosophers.
Yes, we are the contemporary philosophers. Mm-hmm. People hate me when I say that, though.
No, I think it's so fair. Do you...
Well, I mean, Sarah Silverman, like, was philosophy at NYU. Like, she did a year of philosophy, was able to drop out because her dad was like, do stand-up comedy, I'll pay your rent. Like, Like she had the coolest dad
that.
because she had 2 sisters. So he was like, I can bet on the youngest. He's like, she could have got it away.
I mean, no, I feel like youngest get the bad though. Like because
100%.
the first ones and second ones
are successful. So then they're like, let's gamble. Let's see how far this kid can go.
I'm the first one and I'm gambling on my life. So
I'm an only child. So my parents are like, we put all our eggs in your basket. Like, are you fucking kidding me? They're like, be a lawyer. And I'm like, it really doesn't sound like a fun life.
Was philosopher sound fun life for you in the beginning when you're choosing master's degree?
Yeah, I really wanted to like devote my life to like just being an academic, to like being in the academy, like just like coming up with like Noam Chomsky, Judith Butler, and Catherine McKinnon are my 3 like academic idol, like living idols, you know, where I'm like, they're public intellectuals. And then at a certain point, I realized that most people don't know who they are. Very few people have read them.
I don't know the
like,
third person that you
Catherine
mentioned.
McKinnon. She's an incredible like international feminist scholar. Like she's helped like victims of like a lot of like she actually made sexual harassment like a legal harm that we can.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
She did so much to the world.
She literally devoted her life to women. Like she didn't have children. She didn't have a family. Like one of her books, it was like, this is like this is for the last one I spoke to and the next baby girl born. You know, she's literally devoted her life.
That makes me so emotional, actually.
Yeah, I wanted to be like Catherine McKinnon for like women and the other animals. And then I was like, but no one's gonna read it. Like no one's gonna know who I am. And I don't wanna like spend my life like coming up with like these theories for like what is wrong with the world when like no one will hear it. You
Wait,
know?
so that is exactly what comedy is though.
Yeah.
You talk about what
outrage.
is wrong in the world.
The basis of a lot of comedy is outrage. When I heard that, I was like, oh, I could do comedy. I am very outraged. Oh, if I make it funny, people will listen.
Would you write a book at some point?
My dad desperately wants me to write a book. He's like, write a book on your experience as a comedian. I'm like, comedians will fucking hate me. If I write a book 2 years into comedy, they're like, what does this bitch think she is? Okay.
Yeah, 2 years in comedy, maybe. Yeah, but like it's a book. It doesn't have to be about being a comedian though.
You're right. Yeah. It doesn't.
I did read this book of Jimmy O Yang. Do you know him? He's like a Chinese American comic.
Cool.
He like wrote about his life and it was so funny.
Really?
It was very funny.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, like a memoir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my fear with writing a book is the time investment and the fact that I doubt people will read it. You know? Like we as a culture, that's the thing too. I'm like, I see the way things are going, like, you know, millennials and Gen Z and Generation Alpha, those fucking children. They are fucked dynamic. They're just attached to their devices. They like don't know how to be people.
Sounds like my
the
life.
Future is not great.
I cannot make friends without maybe inviting them into the podcast. But yeah, go on.
No, so I'm just like, people like don't read anymore, you know? Like, they consume content. Like,
yeah.
If you want to have a voice, if you want to be heard, you have to know how to produce captivating content. So that's what I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, making content is a whole game. I feel like I spend at least like half of my, good 3 to 5 hours a day working on content.
That is wild.
It's actually really wild.
Yeah. And I wish, and I need to, you know, like that is a goal. Like for the past like month and a half, I've been like, Zoe, record a front-facing video and release it. Do it. And I like spent 1 hour on the street. Everyone looked at me like I was a fucking psycho. I'm just talking to my phone, and it's Carnegie Hill, and like I'm like, I gotta go down to Yorkville for this shit, like because in Carnegie Hill they're like, who is she? And then in Yorkville they're like, oh, she's an influencer. You know, like,
isn't that like a good feeling? Like, look at me. Yeah.
No? Yeah, sure. I don't know, but it's just so stupid, you know. Like, and I did it, and then I like sent it to a couple friends, and they're like, well, you could talk a little quicker, and the top of your head's cut off a little bit, and I'm like, I have frizz. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
how long was the content?
It's between like 10 and like 45 seconds. It ended up being like 20 different thoughts, but like a couple of them I recorded like 5-6 times, just trying, because I'm like, oh shit, like the tone, like I've spent so much time figuring out how to be a performer, like on stage, that I haven't practiced at all, like this.
It's like the
it's a relationship.
Yeah.
Like you need to be comfortable, you need to figure out your tone, you need to figure out how, like, know how you want to come across and then come across that way. And I'm still just trying to work that out.
Well, how was your transition to become a performer though?
I was not good for the first 3 to 4 months. And I'm not saying like I was good 3 to 4 months in, but I was like decent. You know, I had some good jokes. Like it was painful. I feel like the first 50 times on stage, you're just not going to be funny, you know, because you don't sound like yourself.
How did you start comedy then? I mean, you just briefly discussed.
I had to take a class to get into it. I was too afraid to bomb, to just go to an open mic and bomb. So I had to like have a teacher like hold my hand, like bring her stuff and her be like, oh my God, that's so funny, yeah. Like, and like give me the confidence to go bomb at an open mic. You know, I was like, here's $500 that I don't have. You know, like
this is Columbia master's degree energy. I fucking relate to this.
I know, thank you. Yeah. So I took a class, and honestly, I like didn't fully understand what was expected of me. So like I bombed that first showcase. I bombed so hard. I think it's criminal, the fact that they're like, don't go to open mics, like invite all your friends and family. We want it to be 150 people. And then you're just like, oh my God, I have to make people laugh for 5 minutes when I have like 2 decent jokes. I'm gonna forget them. Like it's just a story I'm going up there to tell, and it's kind of embarrassing.
Where was this room?
Gotham.
Ah,
yeah, it's a big
that's a
fucking
huge
room.
room.
It was full. I bombed so hard. Like it was so bad that like the laughs I got were like the back corner comedians' pity laughs, okay? They were like, she needs some.
They are nice, though.
They were nice. They were like, we like her.
Nice.
Oh my God, this is brutal. You know, it was like, oof. Like, I am like proud of myself for like getting back up and doing comedy.
Yeah, you just have to like pick yourself back up and do it. Yeah.
So then, you know, I took it very seriously and I figured out what was expected of me and just worked hard.
When did you realize that like, wow, I'm funny?
Well, I've always been funny with friends, so I think I've always known that if I can figure out how to translate that onto stage, that I'll be funny.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just like it's half comfort, it's half writing technique. You know, like knowing how to structure jokes and like the intonation. Like right now, I feel like I'm starting to get into voice work in some of my jokes.
I noticed that you're saying
yeah,
nah, and then
yeah, exactly. Like and like that captures people because it's masculine. You know, like and it's really challenging to be a female comic.
You know? I agree. Taylor Tomlinson,
I
she has so many voices.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's very true. But like, yeah, I hate when I'm the first woman on a show. I address it actually now. I'm like, oh, woman. Like I bring a weird masculine energy into like, I know,
I'm a woman.
Yeah, and then they're like, yeah, we were all thinking that. And then we can like move on with my set, you know. But yeah, like it's just otherwise it's just be awkward. Like,
let me just address this right now and then move on.
100%. Like I love when it's a female host because I'm like, oh, thank God, like they trust her. You know, they know a woman's funny. They trust her. Like.
But isn't that pretty common that you're the only woman on the lineup? Not really.
Not really. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
It's 50-50.
I feel like that's often the case for me. I'm working with this club in the Delhi. In the second, cool. Do you know about this? It's in the Upper West Side.
Yes.
And it's on 72nd.
Yes. My friend had a show there.
Yeah. And then I work with like 2 middle-aged white men to put together this show. And I have fun. Good. I definitely have fun, but I'm definitely the only woman performer oftentimes.
Yeah. So my bar show, it was like that too, where like we because my co-producer like yeah. I mean we would book women sometimes, but then I would sort of feel like they use me as an excuse to like not book other women. You know.
Like, we got that checked out.
Yeah, like we got a woman. Like now let's give spots to men who will give us spots. Like,
or black men.
Black men?
Just to text.
I don't know, not this show, but you know, not that there's nothing wrong with it, but. Yeah, a lot of it's like politics. A lot of comedy's politics, I've found out.
I am learning that. It's only because, all right, so I didn't really think that I'll be still doing comedy. I'm surprised at myself that I'm still doing it.
It's great that you're still doing it.
Yeah, I'm happy about
journey,
it.
You know?
It is, yeah. Because my whole thing was to fuck comics. Like, that's how I started it, and then that was a lot of my jokes. And
do you know how many incels exist in the open mics, and they perk up? They're like, oh my God. Okay, I have one joke about a friend calling me a chuckle fucker, and I like made it work at New York Comedy Club, and I'm like, I had the clip, and I'm like, I don't know if I should post it because I'm not actually a chuckle fucker. You know what I mean? I don't actually sleep with other comics anymore. But it's
anymore?
No, I learned my fucking lesson. You know,
yeah,
like,
I know.
Like it just gets
Teach
messy.
me.
Yeah, like it's messy. Like, You know, even if you're like, let's keep it casual, then it's still weird. Like, there's this one comic that, like, I really respect him as a person, but now he's just weird to me. You know, like, he doesn't know how to be a normal human because we fucked a couple times. Yeah. And I'm like, that wasn't worth it to me. Like, those, like, I didn't even get off. You know? You did. Why are you being weird? Like, can you just treat me like a normal human? You know? Like, is that so crazy?
It's hard because you're beautiful.
Thank you. But no, like, he's not trying to date me. He just feels weird. Like,
It just means that he wants to fuck you again. But seems like you don't want to. Yeah.
Well, it's just not a good idea.
I had to reject someone yesterday too, even. Like, I went over to his house. We watched a bunch of videos. I mean, YouTube comedy videos, just to get it out there. But, like, I learned my lesson, but literally the number one goal of 2024 is not to fuck comics.
It's hard though, because a lot of, like, not a lot, okay, some of them, a lot of the women are great, but no, like, you know, some of them are, like, very, like, you know, sexy, like, entertaining, captivating, and, like, they have this thing going for them, they can control a room, like, it's attractive to be a comedian.
I recently learned that I had things for comedians even when I was younger.
Oh.
Yeah, I was,
really?
like, watching, like, comedians, like, when I was young, and I really like them a lot because they're so charismatic.
I mean, you could pull a May Planner and just, like, start like, find yourself the next Mark Norman.
Honestly, I would.
Right?
I would, honestly.
She still does comedy. I mean, she does comedy, you know? She's a comedian too.
I mean, like, if I were gonna fuck another comic, they gotta be famous and rich. Yeah. But, like, these people that I meet regularly, no.
I know.
No.
No, and that's the thing actually with the comedian who's weird to me. After the first time we had sex, I was like, let's go get ice cream. Like he wanted to bounce, and I was like, can we just do, like, ice cream? Like, I'm like, you know, like,
that's cute.
Yeah, I was like, I just want, like, some Van Leeuwen. So we go to Van Leeuwen's, and he did not pay.
Oh!
And I'm like, bitch, you got off. Like, you literally came. I did not.
Oh!
Like, you owe me ice cream.
Wait, you paid for that?
I paid for my own ice cream, yeah. Comics are so fucking cheap. And he's a pro comic. He's a full-time comic, you know? He's not rich, but, like, he's a working comic.
That's why he's poor.
Him as a person.
That's
yes,
why
that
he
is
can't
why
pay
he's
for
poor.
your ice cream.
Yep.
I'm actually working on a set about my ex who finishing the sentence. I'm working on my and yesterday.
Is he an active comedian?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yesterday I was at this, like, I have a whole set about it, and I was in this room where he performs very regularly, and then everyone fucking knows I'm talking about this person. Yeah. I don't think it's everyone, but, like, I think it's so enough evidence, and it felt so good.
Oh, really?
It felt so good. Yeah. I mean, I wish it was funnier. But, like,
I'm just speaking truth to power at this point.
I mean, it is. I think it's funny, but I wish it's, like, funnier. I wish it's 100%. So funny that it's painful.
Yes.
That's my goal. Yeah. But, like, it was very empowering experience.
I mean, I guess I feel, because, you know, I had, like I said about my, not like, it wasn't like my whole, like, set, but it was like a solid 2.5 minutes about my ex-boyfriend, you know, like 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes.
Pretty solid.
That's a lot of jokes. I hated one of them. I stopped doing, I mean, I don't do any of them anymore, but that's just because I got sick of them, you know, but I did find it very empowering at first to, like, take what became a very ugly, kind of toxic relationship. You know, he's just very controlling with my time and me, and he didn't do comedy much. Luckily, he doesn't do comedy much. That's, like, what I have going for me. That'd be my advice. If you're gonna fuck a comedian, make sure he's barely one. Make sure he doesn't really get up, you know?
Wow.
But he can get it up, you know?
the thing is, all these, like, comedians that I have been with, they're so active. They love comedy. I mean, I guess I was, you know, sucking their dicks because they love comedy so much, and I wanted to get
admire that.
Yeah, I admire that.
Okay, well, the thing with my ex was I thought that we'd do, like he would come to my mic, and then I could, like, push him to do another mic or even 2 more mics after my mic, and we were friends, and, like, we had so much fun as friends that I was like, oh my god, like, what if we dated? You know, would that be crazy? Like, let's date. Like, that could be so much fun, and we could do so much comedy together, and we could grow as comedians. And then he just, like, only would do once we started dating, would only do my mic once a week, and it's very controlling with my time, and I couldn't like pick up a spot at the last minute, which comedians need to do. And I was like, I thought you understood. He's like, this is our time. It just became crazy controlling. I was like, whoa, am I a kept woman? This is crazy.
My dream come
Mom
true.
warned me about. No. Like I'm like, oh, okay. Like, got it. This is actually very stifling. So, okay, the thing is, last year, I would keep track of how many minutes I was on stage every day, right? I keep track. And I would average up the week, and I would like I'd be like, oh, you know, like I was only like up for like 59 minutes this week. Last week I was up 72 minutes, you know, like let's step it up next week, Zoe. Like I would like keep myself accountable that way. And then after the relationship, I made it like monthly averages, and it was incredible how it was like, I'm up for 250 minutes this month. And then when I'm with him, I'm up for like 125.
Oh, that's
like,
like
literally
double.
got cut in half. Yeah, like it literally was like I was fighting for any stage time I could get, because he's like, we need to like plan these long form hangs. Like this is ridiculously arrogant. He's loved to be like, you can learn more from me than you can from an open mic.
Fuck you!
Like, dude, you've been doing comedy.
You!
Like, you've been doing comedy a really long time, and like you don't get up anywhere. So like, what do you mean I can learn from you? Like, that's the thing. Like when you're taking advice from someone, like look at their career and be like, do you have one? Like people love to give. Because the thing is, I ask for advice from everyone. You know, I'm like, how can I get better? How can I get better? I suck. You know. But then you also have to be like, that person does, you know, like,
wow, Zoe, you're my idol. I am so empowered right now.
I think that could, you know, I think female empowerment is actually.
Yeah, I'm like, what career do you have?
Yeah, like tell me how much you make from comedy though. Like, wait, like you get up a lot, but I'm sorry, does your main source of income come from performing? That's what I want to know.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Like, or does it come from working at a restaurant, you know?
Yeah. What was the advantages of you keeping the track of how many minutes you're on stage?
Oh, it was so great because it pushed me to do more comedy, you know? And actually, I got lazy this year and I stopped doing it. And like yesterday, I was like, I think I should go back and like count up all the minutes, you know? But because now I'm getting like such long sets that like I will consistently do mics every week, but I won't do as many, but that's because I'm on shows almost every night. So I just feel so lucky that like, instead of like grumpy comics I'm running shit by, it's actually like real people. Yeah. You can actually kind of get a read on like how it's working. Yeah. So, yeah. So, and like, you know, and then when you do a show, like I on average will get 10 minutes instead of 5 at a mic. But honestly, I found hosting my mic extremely, extremely valuable for my comedic growth.
What? How? What's that?
Partly because you kick it off, so that's a hard spot.
Yeah, right.
You know, but it keeps me very on track. Like I spend like an hour or two before my mic in the morning punching up material, trying to get it to the level, the best level I can make it in this moment, you know? And then I'll do it at my mic, and I'm not subjected to 5 minutes. I can do like 8, 10.
Yeah, and then you can do little like jokes in between.
I don't.
You
don't?
don't?
No, I don't, because I do take up like 8 minutes at the top.
Okay.
So I'm like, come on, next one. Yeah. But it was really like just the consistency, and then there's community, and like you know, like meeting other people too. Like I met so many comedians by hosting my mic that I found that very like this guy Luca Ravina. He's a big deal in Italy. Yeah, he is like 400,000 followers. Like he's like a big comedian in Italy. He came to my mic last summer. You know, now we're connected on Instagram. Like now he's like, we'll be on stage soon together. And I'm like, yes, please.
Aww. And then you'll travel to Italy.
Right. I actually speak Italian fine. Wow. I lived there for 9 months. So.
Would you do comedy in Italian?
I'm not that good. I can have like conversations, but
yeah,
I feel like you know, because you do comedy in 2 languages.
Oh, I do. Yeah, it was very challenging. Doing comedy in Korean language was it was a journey. Yeah, it was a lot because I had to relearn my own culture. Right. It was a very fun experience, and I had to be so different in choosing the like words.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. I would not say I fucked someone. I would say I did someone. Right. Yeah. So I just tone it down like a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're going to be more modest. That's the thing too.
Yeah. It's like we bow.
Like how much like femininity is expected of you in this culture versus that one.
Yeah. Well, going back to the philosophy of it, you know, like I really loved how I was like pushing the boundaries. Yes. That was very, very empowering, especially doing it in Korea. Yeah. And where, I mean, in any country comedy scene is more male dominant.
100%.
And fact
what
that
percentage would you say are male comics?
ooh,
Right? I feel like it's like 95% of comics are men. I feel like it's that male dominated.
I think so too. I mean, like, I wish.
But then working comics, I would say it evens out, but I would say working comics is probably 75% men, 25% women.
Mm-hmm. When you go to like random as open mic, 99%
You're
men.
lucky, you're
Sad
lucky if
men.
there's another woman. Like lucky, you're like, thank God someone might get this joke. It's 4 women. You know? And then when I do a show, it's half, if not more than half women. That's a very weird dichotomy to have to weird tension. Sorry, what were you saying about male comics?
That
Dominating?
they are gross. They are gross. Yeah. But like there's something about it. I don't know. Some part of me is like I feel very comfortable surrounded by sad men.
Really?
Yeah, I am. It's just like I can be. It's just like nothing matters. Like nothing matters.
Yeah. There's a James Baldwin quote, I'm going to paraphrase. It's basically like the most dangerous thing we can create in our society is a man who has nothing to lose.
Wow.
And I feel that way with something. Like, I'm like, oh, like, you are so miserable. I can tell. Like, I sort of feel like you're, like, about to do something about it. Please don't let that be my mic. You know? I'm like, oh, my God. Like, what is happening here?
Have you seen, like, those, like, really, really sad sets with, like...
And I'm like, if you have a girlfriend, like, what's wrong? Like, you're not even an incel. You live with her. What the fuck? You guys have a dog.
Oh, my gosh. But some people are so sad, though.
So sad.
Yeah.
So miserable with their lives.
Mm. But like, I feel like I relate to it so much, the miserable part of it, because I feel like on the internet I come off so like glamorous, happy. Yeah. But
that's what it expects us to be.
I agree. Yeah. But like in my real deep core, I am miserable and sad, and that's why I feel so comfy around them at midnight.
You're like, I'm at home. Oh, wait, like it's under St. Mark's that.
Under St. Mark's, that's happier space. Oh. That is definitely a happier space, I think.
Yeah, I was pretty sad when I got up at like 12:45 a.m. You're fucking kidding me. I got here at 8:45, guys.
Yeah.
How was this 4 hours later?
I just like this variety mic, though. It makes it a lot more happier.
No, there's audience because they're not all comics. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love being in a variety mic. I really do. I really should be doing a lot more mic like you're doing, but I don't as much as I should.
Yeah. How many mics do you think you do a week?
I think 5.
No.
Or less.
I have a good friend who, this was like really valuable when I started comedy. Because when I started comedy, I could only like allow myself to do like 2 to 3 a week, you know, because it's so painful. When at the beginning, when you suck, like when you go up there just knowing you're gonna bomb.
Yeah.
Like it's like I mean, honestly, now I'll go up at a mic and be like literally last Monday I was at my friend's mic, but it was like me and like 16 dudes, and I went up and I like got like 2 laughs, you know, like, and I knew it was gonna happen. I was working stuff out, but I was still like, you know. But this friend actually who hosts that mic, I really appreciate him because he was like concerned for me when I started being like, we're only doing 2 to 3 a week, like you gotta do more, you know. He's like, I do 21 sets a week, and I'm like, damn, okay, like that is why you
20 a week.
20 a week. Yeah.
That person doesn't have a life.
I know.
Yeah, but that means
is obsessed with comedy and obsessed with comedy writing.
That means so much. Almost 3 mics a day.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm being very.
You can stack them. There's a certain way to stack them, like flow state. Like there's certain like downtown. It's easy to stack them. Mm-hmm. Like you just like bounce from Greenwich Village Comedy Club to Flow State Mic at Sesh Comedy.
Yeah, you hit this one,
to the Soho Playhouse 11:30 on a Thursday. You know, like there are ways to like do 4 in a day. Like I don't do any more, but that's because I'll do like 1 mic and then 2 shows. You know, and I'm like, okay, like I still got like 25 minutes of stage time under my belt today.
What's your favorite mic except for yours?
I don't want to tell people about
it. Okay.
I'll tell you later.
Text me later.
I don't. Honestly, though, actually, it's gotten weird. So maybe if your people are cool, it's the Friday Broadway, 4 p.m. Broadway Comedy Club. That's gotten kind of like there used to be like this like core pack of us regulars that just made it great, even though like some weirdos would flow in every week. But now it's mostly weirdos. Like there's only a few of us.
Oh, I'm ready. I can go.
Yeah, you should. It's a good mic. I recommend it. But lately it's been hit or miss if it's actually good energy. But it used to be great. It used to be where I'd go and try out my brand new stuff, you know, and feel great doing it because the room was with me.
What keeps you motivated?
Jewish parents. No.
Like
The
define
pressure
them?
of being an only child. No, the fact that if I don't succeed at this, I'm gonna have to like go to law school. You know.
Is law school conversation actually active? Is it like real?
Yeah. Yeah. If I don't like figure out how to make a living off of comedy pretty soon.
Did they give you like a time?
Like my parents don't support me at all. I just want to clarify, but they very much are like, you're living on limited time.
Did they give you like timeline?
Luckily, no. But I've given them a timeline. They're like, we think that's too long. And I'm like, no, but this is what it is. You know, like 5 years into comedy, if you are on the right track, you should be making good money headlining clubs. Like if you are, right now I'm 2 years in, I sort of do feel like I theoretically am on the right track to be 5 years in headlining clubs. If everything, but it's like half of it's networking, like half of it's skill, half of it's networking.
Yeah.
And okay, a third. The other third, social media.
True.
I'm good at networking. I'm good at doing comedy a lot, but I just need to get better at dedicating 3 to 5 hours a day to making content. You know, that's like the other leg that I'm missing.
Yeah, social media is a whole different game. I feel like
It's a beast.
Yeah,
100%. But and it used to not matter. That's the weird thing. Now it matters so much. Like if you get booked at real clubs, they want you to have a big following.
Or like it's...
Which I get from their perspective, because they're like, we want our comics to fill seats because we don't know how.
I feel like having big following doesn't always translate to
funny on stage.
That too.
Oh, okay.
That too.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But also ticket sales.
Oh no, it can. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
I know. I have one friend right now who's like blowing up on Instagram because he's getting a lot of hate and writing a lot of hate comments back. And honestly, I find a lot of them pretty misogynistic. You know, it's like, well, I came on your mother's back last night. And I'm like, why would you bring this asshole's mother into it? You know, like what? And he's like, it's a joke. I'm like, yeah, but you're still like degrading a woman in the process. You know, like I still don't like.
Yeah.
He's like, people on the internet love to see this. And I told it to my other friend, and he's like, yeah, I don't think that translates into ticket sales. Like, I'd be shocked if it did. Like, sure, he's gaining followers. But are they going to come see him do stand-up? Like, that's another thing.
Yeah, because it's stand-up is all about, like, what kind of energy you want to bring to those room.
It's very energy-based. It's very charisma-based.
Yeah.
How likable, how relatable you are, how authentic.
Yeah.
And vulnerable.
I like how you
But you
said
can't be too
earlier.
vulnerable. It's a line. You have to be vulnerable, but you need to make sure the audience feels comfortable the whole time, because they won't laugh if they're worried about you.
That is so true. You're vulnerable enough to be not too real. No?
You need to be authentic, you need to be vulnerable, but they can't be concerned for you. You can't be too real. I feel like when I started, I was being too real. You know, I was like saying the thing that's true, but no one wants. I've always been that person though who like says the thing that needs to be said that no one wants to say, but it needs to be fucking said.
Yeah.
And like that's sort of why I like comedy, because I'm like, oh, but if I can make it funny, I can say it. Holy shit, you know, like if I dress it up.
Yeah.
In humor.
But like it's about the charisma. It's like the energy that like everything I'm saying right now is so funny, and then you say that, and
right.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a joke. I know it's a joke. This has a punch. There's the punch. You know? I've gotten better at, like controlling audiences or learning how to, like, pick their energy back up. Like, I had to last night with my show. Like, the comic before me was just, like, oh, it was really bad. I had to, like, get, you know, like, win them. Like, the room was bombed. You know? Like, the person before me, it was, like, technically a set, but there weren't many laughs, you know? It was more a slog to get through. Yeah, like on Saturday at New York Comedy Club, there was a woman who was heckling me. And at first I didn't mind, like, because she made like a funny comment based on my first joke. And then she made a comment on my second joke. And I had to be like, I'm sorry, is this going to be a thing? like I don't have much time up here. Like, I'm sorry, this isn't a conversation. Like, this
is not a conversation.
Like, no. Like, if I ask you a question.
You're going to be listening to me right now.
Right. Like, did you not pay to be here? Was it not $40? Like,
How did she respond?
She closed off.
Nice.
She, like, looked down.
That
her boy
is
looked
charisma.
down. The whole crowd was with me. Actually, I like the crowd. Like, I didn't come off unlikable in the way I shut her down. And I feel like if this was a year ago, I would not have even addressed it. I would have just let her talk and kept going on. And that would have been weird, because the audience would have been like, we know that someone's talking to you and you clearly don't like it.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that I, like, nipped it in the butt right after the second joke, like, let me do a good set, you know? Like, have a good, you know? And these 4 women, actually, after the show, came up to me and they were like, oh my God, we're so happy that you shut her down. But, like, she was crying. Like, we saw some tears. And I was like, oh my God. I know, I was like, oh my God. Like, I wasn't that mean. I was like, you know, like.
Zoe, I thought it was all about women's empowerment.
I know, right? But then this little blonde girl decides to cry. You know, these other women, though, they were like, we're teachers. That needed to happen. You know, they were really proud of you.
Well, teachers know what's up.
Right, no, exactly. She's like, oh, she did the same thing with our classroom. Like, that's your stage. Like, you fucking control the room. Like,
yeah.
That's the job.
Yeah, that's the job.
But get laughs. Don't make them hate you.
How do you know objectively that you're being likable or funny?
It took me so long. I feel like that was my biggest challenge at first. Like, I feel like I have always been able to write punchlines, even if they were bad punchlines, but they were just so unlikable, you know, because so much of it was like so overt sexual politics, you know, like, men look at me this way, but I fucking hate it. And like, people don't want to hear that, you know, like, you have to, like, I recently noticed that, you know, like, it has to be like more charismatic than like, bleh.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I was very unlikable. And like, friends have said to me, like, a friend saw me a couple months ago to Mike, and he wrote to me after, and he was like, hey, Zoe, I feel like you've really become a lot more likable on stage. like people.
You've become a lot
more likable.
More likable. Okay.
Yeah. And like, my was like, you got much better at like letting people in on the joke. Like, that's a big part of it.
Wow, that's really nice comment to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, thank God, because I work so hard on being likable. I am not naturally likable. I mean, likability depends on relatability.
Right. I'm just reflecting my own.
And like, you're like being
on
a
my
woman,
own comedy.
going to Columbia.
Yeah.
Like,
well, is going to Columbia relatable?
It's alienating. No, it's not relatable.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, exactly. No, it works against. I don't mention it anymore. I used to mention it
in the beginning of your set, right?
Yeah, it'd be like my third joke. I'd be like, so I got an MA in fly, and it'd end with something self-deprecating, but it starts off very like with like a little applause break. But I'm like, no, guys, that's not my philosophy. Shut the fuck up. Like, it's not a PhD. It was a PhD. I'd be like, yeah, I earned that shit. But like,
great, that is funny.
Yeah.
Well, I don't hate myself enough to do a PhD. You know what I mean?
Yes.
PhD is so. It kills you.
You have to be obsessed with something and be willing to be obsessed with it for like 6 years, and that's insane to me.
One thing I learned from my master's degree is that I'm not doing any more degree in my life.
I agree. I'm really grateful I had the opportunity to get the MA in philosophy, but I actually realized the academy is not for me. You know, like when I can write a great paper, but it needs to be on Adderall. You know, like I can write a great joke not on Adderall. Like, and that's how I'm like, this is how I know comedy's for me. You know, I workshop jokes for hours with friends, and I'm not on speed. Like, literally, like, in order to write a great paper, I need to be on speed. Like one does not go without the other. And that's just like that's why I'm like, I could do law school, but that's going to be 3 years of Adderall, like shortening my life, you know? I'm like, oh God, that's going to age me. Like, yeah.
But like, you wanted to be academic your whole life, you said, right?
Well, no, my whole life,
I mean,
my whole life I wanted to like help the other animals, and it always took a different form. Like when I was 11, I wanted to be a vet. You know, when I was 5, I actually wanted to be president.
Wow!
I know. I was like, I want to run things.
Look at you. That's so cool.
5-year-old, little only child, 5-year-old.
I never wanted to be a president. I never wanted to. Like, that's a lot of responsibility.
It is a lot of responsibility. It's a very arrogant thing to say. Like, I would not say it today. I want to be president, but no, I want to be president first, which shows how much chutzpah I have, and then I want to be a veterinarian to help. To like work with animals and help animals, but then I realized I'd have to actually put down a lot of animals as a vet. And I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, okay. Why do you have to gotta kill them? I mean, not like put down.
That's a part of being a vet. Is they bring you the animals when they're at the end of your life, and you have to anesthetize them. You know, euthanasia. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, I want to be an animal rights lawyer.
I'm silently laughing.
I know, because there's so many jobs for those, right? Because animals are hiring, because they're not property, right? They got funds. Yeah, so I wanted to be an animal rights lawyer, and then I realized, I worked at a law firm for a year and a half, actually. I was studying for the LSAT. I was like about to apply to law school. And then, I mean, 2 things. I was like, okay, I love my boss, and I'm so fucking bored at this job. You know, he's a great guy, and I still hate my job. Like, law is a really tedious, boring thing. Also, I dated too many lawyers or law students, and I was like, I don't want these to be my colleagues. you know, like I thought about like my philosophy professors, and I was like, those were lovely, and my philosophy like like students,
Yeah.
and I was like, those were lovely people. Like I'd love for those to be my colleagues for the rest of my life. And then also with the animal perspective, I was like, oh, in order for us to get a like cultural shift, like in order for us to get a legal shift with animals, we need to get a cultural shift, and that's where philosophy comes in.
Yeah.
Like it's so difficult to like fight for the reconfiguration of their property status into like a personhood status if people are like, they don't fucking matter, you know? Like that's where like philosophy comedy comes into that.
But it seems like you have been wanting to help
Yes,
people or animals. Yes. But like, do you think your comedy is helping people?
No, but I'm just like getting my legs, you know? Like I'm just like learning the walk of it. Like I feel like I'm doing feminist stuff right now. Like not a bunch of it, but some stuff like it. I don't know. Honestly, there's this joke that started off as such a noble premise, and then the way it had to end up being formed, I hate and I don't do anymore. The premise was, how fucked up is it that teachers get so much less money than OnlyFans models, you know? Mm-hmm. And then the joke ends up being like, well, I have this friend who got into OnlyFans, she's making so much money, and it's really pissing off her teacher friend, you know, and it's like, and like, it doesn't, like, in order to get the laughs, I have to degrade us, and I just don't want to do that.
Great what?
Women. You know, like I'm like, what's really pissing off the teacher friend is that she's hotter. Like,
that's funny.
Like, it is funny. It gets laughs. It works as a joke, but I'm not gonna do. You know, like I also have this line where I'm like, you know, like the teacher friend. Like before I say that about hotter, I'm like, you know, like our teacher friend is like why is Catherine making all this money, right? Like showing her breasts on the internet. Meanwhile, I show mine once to one student and get fired. And like it's such a big laugh, but I'm just like, I think it's kind of hack and like.
No, I mean I think it's really funny though.
The
fact that the teacher is
kernel. It lost the exactly. Now it's just like comparing attractiveness of women. I'm like, no, the whole point is like teachers should be making at least as much as women who are like showing their breasts on the internet, you know? And, like,
yeah, but
it's not.
Yeah, I get
moved
it.
Away from that.
But the fact that teacher is hotter is the funny
it's
part.
It's funny. It is
yeah,
funny.
But like I also see that.
And then I'm like, I don't know, girl. You could pivot, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was that? And I get laughs, you know, with my masculine demeanor. What was that master of ed even for?
But like, it's just
I don't do it.
Yeah, the perspective is less feminine.
Yeah,
feministic.
Exactly.
Feminist.
It's no longer feminist.
Yeah.
It's no longer a feminist joke. It's just become like a bro joke. I don't do it anymore. But it took me so long to make that joke work, guys.
Yeah.
You know, and now I'm like, fuck, this is how it has to work. This is the only way it's gonna work. You know. I mean, or at least that I can figure out how to make it work. Because I really tried to make it work in its original form for ages. Like, how fucked up is it? And it just wasn't funny.
I think
it was just outrageous.
It's so respectable that like it's a joke that you worked out, but you just had to let it go because it's just like not the value that you want to put out there.
Yeah. But then like now I'm like debating like should I though like cut up, clip, and post it and like make the caption how fucked up. You know, like, like maybe I could actually sneak in the message with the caption. And also, a part of me is like, I know if I put OnlyFans as the fucking caption of the, like, not caption, but disappear, the title page, then it will
People want to watch it.
You know, that's the thing. I'm like, ugh, like the perverted jokes pop. Like, or not perverted, but like the sexual stuff pops. And then I get all these men who are like, why do women think that sexual material? Like, why is all their stuff sex? And I'm like, none of my, like, so, like 5% of it's sex. That's just the shit that pops.
Well, I have like 50% of them is mine. Fake jokes.
Right, but when you start, you know, like you move away from that as you like grow into your voice and figure out how to make jokes outside of.
Yeah, I want to say some deep shit.
Yeah. No, exactly. And a close friend of mine, who's very active in the scene, he's also like into animal rights and a comedian, and he doesn't talk about it though as a comedian, but he told me, he was like, Zoe, don't get up there at the beginning and do animal rights stuff because it's gonna be so painful to watch it die. Like get up there, do dick jokes, figure out, prove to yourself that you can make people laugh with the easy stuff and then work up to the hard stuff. And that was really good advice. I probably would have quit comedy if I like came out swinging with just like feeling so misunderstood and so hate, you know, like that was already my undergrad experience.
but I hear you because those are like you get the fundamentals of how comedy works. Right. And then when you have developed your skills.
It's also confidence though, you know? Being like, I know how to make people laugh. Like, well, this is a difficult topic. It's gonna be challenging to make people laugh with this. But I can do it. I can do what other people do, which is easy stuff, you know, is dick jokes. Like, you know, like make sure you get laughs on dick jokes. And then you're like, okay, I can move on.
I love dick jokes though. I love it so much. It's like the funniest thing to me. It's that's
So
what makes
if it's
me
your
laugh.
sense of humor, if you
love
write it, then it's comedy, you know?
Look at this shit. We have art around. Look at that dick. Dick is all over this house.
That's crazy.
Thanks.
That is one long ass dick.
It's a very long dick. Well, that person also loved animals. So maybe you guys can relate. Yeah.
I love that.
A
dick that loves animals. Not too much.
Yeah, look at that, natural things happening around the dick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is it like the sun?
I don't know. It was enlightenment, I guess. I was really sad when I was making it. Also, there's his cum on it. It's so personal.
That is very personal.
The DNA and shit.
Yeah, you could clone him. No, I'm kidding.
I can. Speaking of animal rights,
Right.
But we talked a lot, actually. I didn't really realize the time passed by so fast.
Yeah. But wait, could I just say a comment on that?
Yeah,
the whole going back to being miserable.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone through periods in my life where I was so miserable, where I honestly felt so sexualized that I became asexual. Where I was like, I hate the way men look at me. Mm. I wish I wasn't, I wish I was old and no one wanted me.
Why? Oh, okay.
Because the attention's so gross, it's not respectful. It's like, I want to attain you. I want to dick you down. It's not like, I want to cherish you. That's not it. That's not the energy you're getting. I'm getting on the, or I was getting on the street. So I've gone through miserable phases, but luckily, it took me time to I guess become comfortable again with attention. That's sort of I'm compromising with comedy, with myself. I'm okay being seen and sexualized to a certain extent, as much as I don't love it.
That's something that I want to utilize, actually.
Yes, 100, and that's the thing, that there's a tension. It's difficult to be a attractive girl in comedy, but it's also easy in some ways. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Very much agreed. And I feel like at the end, it's so, I don't know, cold to say that, but at the end, the look matters.
It definitely does, unfortunately.
It does
For
matter.
social media matters. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah. Unless you're so ugly. You're so ugly that
the people
this
really want
person
to
should be funny.
No, but on social media, it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Like if someone's ugly but really funny, it's it's not impossible, but it's challenging. Yeah. I want to use, that's a weird thing. I grew up as a godless Jew. As a liberal, I had hippie parents. There was never any taboo around sex. It was never sex is bad, it was just do what you want, be empowered, be safe, you know, respect yourself. That I don't know, I just have never. I growing up, I did see the books I read, the films I consumed framed a beautiful woman as having power over men, right? As this being a weapon, this being a tool in your toolbox, your sexuality. If men want to attain you, then you can influence them to a certain extent. But then just kind of coming into the reality of that as a young adult, being they don't respect me though, they just want to fuck me, they're being nice to me, but they don't value me as a human.
Which I love. I just want to be disrespected.
Just then you should take me. Then you should take me.
That's why I'm here. We actually asked this question to all of our guests.
Okay.
Why should people know about you?
Because I'm
funny.
No, I was gonna say
beautiful,
something very unlikable.
Say it, please. I want to know.
Because there's a purpose behind the comedy. It's not just because I have childhood trauma.
I think that's so fair.
I'm trying to influence the moral sensibilities of other people.
You're a philosopher.
Thank you. Yeah. It's not I'm funny. Don't worry. You will be entertained. But it's not just it's not just a shtick for a shtick's sake.
Yeah.
I'm not Like I entertain people because it's the job. I don't, but I want a message to be my purpose.
You have values to add.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what's wrong with the world? Well, let's talk about it in a funny way.
I really love that. I
Thank
really
you.
do.
I
That's what I feel like I should want to do. But I love the jokes out.
Be true to yourself, you know? Like that's where I feel like success comes from comedies, when you like accept who you are or like lean into it, you know?
Yeah.
It's challenging.
Yeah.
To like let the world in on who you are. For all of us.
Yeah. Well, Zoe, thanks for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Mindy.
It was so
This
fun.
was lovely. Yeah, I had a great conversation with you.
You're so smart, beautiful,
appreciate
and funny.
Crazy.
And crazy.
No, I was saying this.
No,
you're very sensible.
She's pretty
okay?
crazy, though.
I'm opinionated. If you think that's crazy, then it's fucking crazy, okay?
That's unlikable. That was
I know. I have strong opinions, okay?
Okay. We gotta end this pod.
Yep.
But
yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And listeners, I'll check in with you next week. Bye.